Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me today is Jay Huseman, and we are here for the Iowa preview for the ARCA East Series this weekend, Friday night, under the lights.
Yeah, what a night, and it's so cool to see Iowa. I know they got the Cup Series race now, but would have kind of liked to have seen the Truck Series. I know you said you thought they were there. They're off to Watkins Glen, but
Yes.
just to have the ARCA East and West combo event, and we know that's always a big thing, especially for the East Series. I don't know that you could pick a better place than Iowa Speedway. I know one of them used to be at Elko. I used to like that, but that was because I'm from Minnesota. Iowa, great facility, so no better place to do it at.
Absolutely not. It is a great facility, and I'm so glad that the Xfinity and Cup Series will be there this weekend as well. All right. Have you had a chance to check out the entry list?
Yeah, for the ARCA East and then main ARCA Menards series, thought it might be a little bit bigger, but it is 27, which is a lot for a combined event. I thought maybe it'd be a little bit more, but going to have a good field of cars. Like I said, I counted 27, some different names again, so always like to see that. But as we've seen, we're talking about 3 or 4 main competitors. The interesting thing is, will the East Series full-time drivers be able to contend with the main ARCA Menards Series drivers? And that one's a tough task.
Well, one that I'm excited about racing this weekend is Mason Mitchell. Think that's going to be really fun to watch him race out at Iowa, where I know he knows that track and it does very well there. So we'll see what happens.
He's in a Venturini Motorsports machine, so that always ups the game.
This is going to be the Atlas 150 out at Iowa Speedway on Friday, August the 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be 6 p.m. Central Time, and it will be televised live on Fox Sports 1 and MRN Radio, and it will be live. So that's pretty exciting, again, to see them on Fox Sports 1.
Most certainly, and I will have to immediately set my recorder up for that when we get done with these shows tonight. With that, it is the 3rd consecutive week that the ARCA Menards Series and the ARCA Menards Series East will compete together in a full points combination event, the Atlas 150 at Iowa Speedway. The race will pay full points to both series, and the winner will be credited with a victory in both series.
Okay, now the race also is the 18th for the ARCA Menards Series at Iowa Speedway and the 22nd for the ARCA Menards Series East.
And we talked a little bit about these heavy hitters. It's going to be Brent Cruz, the number 18 JBL Toyota. He enters the Atlas 150 in search of his 3rd ARCA Menards Series victory of the season. He won earlier this season at Phoenix Raceway in a combination with the ARCA Menards Series West, and then last week at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park in a combination with the ARCA Menards Series East.
Okay, now Cruz's win last weekend at Lucas Oil Raceway Park was his 4th career ARCA Menards Series win and his first platform victory on a track that was not 1 mile in length. His previous wins came at Illinois State Fairgrounds and DuQuoin State Fairground, Phoenix Raceway, and Rockingham Speedway.
And another heavy hitter, again, some tough competition. You got Brendan Butterbean Queen. He's in the number 28 BestRepair.net Chevrolet. He finished 3rd last week at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park to maintain a 16-point lead in the ARCA Menards Series championship standing. The 2024 Cars Tour Late Model Stock Car Champion has won 4 races so far in 2025, all on tracks 1 mile length or longer. Daytona International Speedway, Kansas Speedway, Michigan International Speedway, and Dover Motor Speedway. Now, Queen's team, Pinnacle Racing Group, has won at Iowa Speedway in each of the last 2 years. Luke Fenhouse did it for him in 2023, and last year it was the sensation Connor Zillig. So talk about being in the right team. There you go.
Okay, now 16-year-old Isaac Kitzmiller, who drives the number 79 ALL Construction Chevrolet, doubled his lead in the ARCA Menards Series East Championship standings to 14 points now over Tyler Reif, who drives that number 23 Vegas Fastener Sigma Performance Services Chevrolet, with a 7th place finish at IRP. Now, Kitzbühel leads all drivers who have started each of the 6 previous ARCA Menards Series East races this season with a 5.5 average finish, and he's the only driver to finish in the top 10 in every race. Pretty amazing.
It is, and that is why he is your points leader. Now, Rev Racing will be fielding 2 drivers in the Atlas 150. Full season championship contender LeVar Scott's in that number 6 Max Siegel Incorporated Chevrolet, but he's going to be joined by Mexico City's Eloy Falcon in a number 2 Max Siegel Incorporated Chevrolet. Scott leads the series in top 10 finishes with 9 in 11 starts. Now, Falcon did impress in his ARCA Menards Series East debut as he raced to a 3rd place finish at Rockingham Speedway. He was 10th in the most recent ARCA Menards Series start, and that came at Michigan.
Now, Isabella Robusto in the number 55 Mobile One Toyota is looking to continue her hot summer streak at Iowa Speedway. After a tough start to the season that saw the Fort Mill, South Carolina native record 4 DNFs in the first 5 races of the year, Robusto has racked up 6 straight top 10 finishes, including back-to-back top 5 finishes with a 3rd at Dover and a 4th at IRP.
Yeah, with how strong she's been lately, kind of forgot about the rough start to the season. We'll look at the points in a little bit, show how that affected her. And here's the one you were talking about. Mason Mitchell's in the number 25 Proceed USA Toyota. Returns for his 4th start of the season. The 2014 ARCA Menards Series champion, who's a native of nearby West Des Moines, Iowa, won at Iowa Speedway in 2015. He finished 4th at Iowa last season in his first series start in nearly 6 years.
So track just down the road from his home. Now, Chris Wright, who drives the number 15 Warranty Solutions Toyota, is making his first ARCA Menards Series start of the season in a 4th Venturini Motorsports end.
And Tim Richmond, a regular, is in the number 27 Immigration Law Center Toyota. He'll make his first ARCA Menards Series start since May at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And Stephen Wallace holds the ARCA Menards Series track qualifying record at Iowa Speedway that was set back in 2006 at 22.932 seconds or 137.357 miles per hour.
And you got to be a longtime ARCA fan to know this name. Tom Hessert III holds the ARCA Menards Series track race record at Iowa Speedway. It was set in 2010 at 105.634 miles per hour.
Now, the Atlas 150 again will be televised on Fox Sports 1 starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, which is local time, on Friday, August the 1st. The race is also going to be broadcast on live on select affiliates of the MRN radio network nationwide, as well as streamed on MRN.com. Live timing and scoring data will be available on ARCARacing.com, and for up-to-the-minute updates, follow ARCA_racing on X, formerly known as Twitter.
All right, see what we got for headlines here at the main ARCA page.
We've got some feature articles, I think. Building momentum, they're talking about Isabella Robusto.
Yeah, that's certainly one of them. It also talks about Greg Biffle returning to the West Series at Tri-City. That'll be coming up later on in the year. Actually, it's their next race, August 9th.
All right, so that's coming up next weekend. Also, William Sawalich, they talk about his win in wine country at Sonoma. If you missed that race, we talked about it last week on Monday. That race made some records.
Yeah, well, and it was just a great race all the way around, but certainly was a very entertaining final finish. You know me, I'm happy to see William Sawalich get the win, but a big thing for me is coming back and getting some good finishes and wins here with the ARCA Menards Series. I think we've seen that translate to Xfinity as they get to second time going around the second half of the season, kind of like Isabella Robusto. Got that bad luck out of the way and not been on fire like Connor Zilic, but at least plugging away now. We're seeing him run top 10 week in and week out.
Okay, I was referring for that Sonoma race. The ARCA Menards Series West race was the most watched West race since 2015. So you probably didn't catch that news, but the race on July 11th of 2025, the ARCA Menards Series West race at Sonoma Raceway was the most watched live ARCA West race in over a decade, and the series' most watched race on Flow Racing since they started being shown on that platform. The General Tire 200 was simulcast on Flow Racing, and the NASCAR channel, which is currently distributed on Tubi, Samsung TV Plus, Xumo Play, and Amazon Prime Video. The NASCAR channel had its highest single-day viewership since the ARCA Menards Series East race at Rockingham Speedway, shown live in April. So again, it was just really exciting to see them have the most watched race in such a long time there in that Sonoma ARCA West race.
And that is good news. That means more people are seeing what we've known, because I know, Sharon, you've been longer than I have, but as I started to get more involved in at that time, it was the K&N Pro Series East and West
Yes.
At the time, but some great racing. I know when I started, you had the battles between Todd Gillen and Harrison Burton. Todd Gillen going for both series championships. So that's great to hear.
Okay. Did you want to cover the points for the ARCA Menards Series and ARCA East Series?
All right. We'll start with the main ARCA Menards Series. We talked about Brendan Queen having the advantage there. It is a 26-point lead now over Lawless Allen, 37 over LeVar Scott. And those three are you're pretty much down to those where it got 11 out of 20 races in. This will be the 12th race of the season. Fourth place, Jason Kitzmiller is 100 points out. And then Isabella Robusto at minus 117. Again, we talked about the rough start she had. That's how good she's done in this last 5 races to get back into that position. Then you got Alex Clubb, Michael Maples, Brian Laster, and then you start getting into Andy Jakowiak, only has 6 starts out of the 11. Thad Moffitt with only 7, or 9th and 10th. So yeah, the battle, it's a little bit more gap now than what we've seen. We'll have to see if LeVar Scott and Lawless Allen can keep pace with Brendan Queen, and that's a tough task.
Yes, it is. And you're right. That's the biggest advantage I've seen him have for the season. So we'll see what happens next.
And I'll tell you what, it's really tough even to make up a few points, because when I look at their average finish, Brendan Queen, 5.3, and he's your points leader. Second, Lawless Allen. Second in points, Lawless Allen is third on the average finish at 6.0. And then LeVar Scott in third at 5.7. You're talking less than a position apart on their average finish. I mean, you're only gaining a couple points, beating them one spot on the track. So, well, it'll be interesting. It'll take one of those, and we've seen it, a huge swing in just one race. Don't want to bring up that of a sore spot for somebody. So, but we have seen it come down in that final race. Jumping over to the East Series, here we got Isaac Kitzmiller. Again, a 16-year-old, 6 starts, 3 top 5s, all 6 top 10s, and has a 14-point average. And you heard it, we said it was a double. This one got shook up a little bit more, but again, 14 points is the biggest point lead we've seen here. Tyler Reif now back 14. Zachary Tinkle is actually third now at minus 24. Then Takuma Koga is minus 49. Austin Vaughn is up to 5th at minus 58. Brad Smith at minus 77. And we only have 6 drivers there in those top spots that have made all 6 of the East Series start. Max Reeve, 3 wins in 3 starts. So that puts him 7th. Brent Cruz has got 3 starts and 2 wins to be 8th. Nate Moeller with 4 starts is 9th. And then Andrew Patterson with 3 starts is 10th. So that one too, maybe 3, if not a 2-man battle. And this one I think will be a little more interesting as far as Tyler Reif being able to close that gap, and it's a little bit smaller gap at 14 points.
Yes, indeed. And it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens at Iowa Speedway this weekend because it's a track that I think a lot of these drivers really enjoy racing on.
Now, this one I will say, Tyler Reif, again, of 6 starts, 4 top 10s, his average finish is 7.2. Isaac Kitzmiller, all 6 in the top 10, his average finish 5.5. So you have a 2-position average there. And I can see that. Tyler Reif, one of those drivers, not quite a full checkers or wreckers, but does have those moments. We talk about Kyle Larson maybe overdriving the car, getting a little too aggressive. If it bites you, it's going to bite you big.
Yes, indeed. Anything else you want to make sure we mention before we move on here, Jay?
If you got a DVR and aren't going to be home on Friday night, set your recorder.
Yes, I think that's important to do. It is going to be exciting. If you remember, Brett Cruz won last week over Brennan Queen, who had been leading. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this week from that perspective as well.
And this is an opportunity. We talk about those. LeVar Scott has done everything but get a victory as a points leader and rookie of the year from last year. I mean, that's the only thing he has left is to check off an actual victory. So would be no better time to do it than here at Iowa. And again, close up that points battle. But the one I was going to mention, you talk about Brent Cruz. That's where I think somebody like Isaac Kitzmiller, to get to run with him and compete with him, really measure up and see where he stands. So I like these combination events.
Yes, I really liked it when the East used to come and meet the West at Iowa Speedway. And then you got to, see those two series kind of go head to head. We haven't seen that in a while.
Well, and not to say Todd Gillen ruined that, but when it came to a point where teams were able to run both series, like Todd Gillen did, and we see that. I know Takuma Koga is actually running on the east side this year. We see more of that now, so I think that lost some of its luster because they were kind of already running with each other on and off throughout the season anyway.
Right.
It was, and it was good racing. They always, the bragging rights of East versus West was always an interesting story that they would cover. So it definitely was. And if I recall correctly, when Todd Gilliland I think that was the year that they determined you had to declare East or West points, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe it was.
And I think he ended up going as an East driver because that was where he didn't have as big a points lead versus the West.
All right. Well, anything else before we move on here, Jay?
No, just looking forward to some great racing again, and having been there. I know this is one, Sharon, I had the pleasure to be there with you and attend some of the races at Iowa Speedway. Like I said, I mean, a great facility. Mentioned it. So glad to see the Cup Series. We'll get to that there now. So I love it.
Okay, so do watch for more coming from Fan for Racing Radio. Jay and I just completed the ARCA East Series combination race at Iowa. And coming up next is the Xfinity Series and then the Cup Series. So 3 previews this week. And we also want to say thank you for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to hear what we have to say. And we hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoy doing it. And with that, Jay, I guess we'll call it on this one.
All right. We'll talk to you in the next video.
Take care now, everybody.